Self-evident that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream.
Yes, you're in tune to Roots FM 96.1 on the FM band, and it is indeed a Tuesday, not a Wednesday. So we welcome Jeffrey Tavares from Make We Talk today.
Good morning. Thank you for joining us this morning on Make We Talk. We're listening and watching from around the world in the Eastern Caribbean. This is Roots and the 6.1 FM. Before we go any further, I have Miss Cullum from the Transport Authority, who's going to give us a little update of what is going on with a news bulletin was put out yesterday pertaining to the $25,000 gas voucher. Miss Cullum?
Hi, Mr. Tavares. How are you?
I am doing wonderful. I'm doing wonderful. Before I go to all the other rest of guests, I'm asking the rest of guests to just mute their mic. Let I have Miss Cullum on for about 10 minutes. Then we can go to the rest of guests that I have. I saw a news bulletin out from the Transport Authority. Can you tell me what is going on?
Well, Mr. Tavares, you must have remembered the Honorable Minister, Dr. Nigel Clark, in his budget presentation some time ago, announced that having recognized a hardship that the taxi operators are experiencing with the high cost of gas, we're not able to give them a rate increase, that he was, the care package that the ministry has, that he was going to give them a $25,000 grant for gas. Mm-hmm. And I mean, it's a while in coming because the budget debate was a while back. And it is now it's now available for the route taxis and our contract carriages.
So tell me something. How is it that it's only certain taxi people getting it?
As you may know, the route they are the larger customers, but it's not only that. I cannot for sure tell you how the ministry made their selection, but I am also aware that the route taxis, they are always lobbying the government and the authority. Likewise, the contract carriages. And you may recall that when we had this third stage of the COVID, they were also allotted a special fund because at the time, the schools were locked down, offices were closed, businesses closed, so they never had anybody, there was a reduction. And they were also allotted a $25,000 as well as some discounts from the authority. So I understand, and the questions are being asked, why the others? What I can tell you is that the authority plans to lobby the government to see whether we can get the other groupings in on something as well.
And do you know when that will be? Because the taxi and bus drivers are feeling the pans of hell in the Madam Transport Authority.
Yes, Mr. Tavares. Oh, we all are. I don't know if you are not, but we all are feeling it with this with the high gas increase. But I don't know when that is going to take place. But I know that the Transport Authority has committed to lobbying for the rest of the groupings.
Well, I know you say you don't have enough time to spend with me. You only have 10 minutes. Do you know when this lobbying is gonna happen? Is it okay? When can they start applying for this gas thing, for this gas voucher?
Okay, so the persons who are applicable, the line was opened from yesterday. They can apply at wecare.gov.jm. It must be the owners of the vehicle, not the drivers, the owners of the vehicle. They must have a valid transport license, which is issued no later than April 3rd. I see Mr. Newman is with you.
Yes, he is, and Mr. Louis Barton too.
Oh, hi, Mr. Barton. Hi, Mr. Newman. April 30, 2020. Their taxpayer registration, and as I say, they must be the owner of the vehicle.
Okay. So tell me something now. If a person has outstanding tickets, what happened?
Outstanding tickets?
Yes.
I'm not sure if the person have outstanding tickets, if they would be, if they would be licensed. Remember, I said the person must be, the vehicle must be licensed up to April 30. 2022.
Yes.
Another good thing, Mr. Tavares, that I want, because the operators have been asking if we have multiple vehicles, what's gonna happen? And I am happy to say, if you have multiple vehicles, then each vehicle will benefit from this grant.
That's very
So if
good.
you have a fleet of 5 vehicles or 10 vehicles, they will benefit, the 10 vehicles or the 5 vehicles will benefit from the 25,000 grant. And I think that is excellent news, as Mr. Newman will be with me.
So if Tavares has 10 coasters, the 10 coasters can get the gas voucher too?
Yes, if you're a current contract carriage, yes. Yes, the 10 vehicles.
Okay. All right, Mr. McCallum. Ms. Callum, thank you. I don't know if Mr.
Newman wants to say anything while I'm here.
Mr. Newman, have any question to ask the Transport Authority, sir, and Mr. Barton?
You know that I'm on it, Mr. Tavares?
Yes, Mr. Lewis. I know you're on. I'm just trying to do this first.
I want to ask you one question.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes, Madam Transport Authority. It seems that you did not understand Mr. Tavares' question when he asked about tickets.
Yeah, I think Ms. Column has point out.
No, just hold on there, sir. She said that she's speaking about the license. Ms. Column, he is asking if the person has outstanding tickets, if they are qualified.
Those persons wouldn't be qualified, Mr. Lewis.
No, well, Mr. Tavares, you must really address that too. Is that you never understand the questions fully well.
So hold on there now. The people who has outstanding, like how much outstanding ticket for them not to be qualified?
I'm not hearing you, Jeffrey, but I want to ask Ms. Column. I noticed a number of persons has been trying to get in and to put in your data. But the fact is that the TRN are not going through. Most persons have challenges with your TRN. I don't know the reason for that.
I'm aware. Yeah? I am aware of that. I am aware of that, Mr. Newman, and we've been getting numerous calls since morning. Having gotten calls, we've taken some of the TRNs, we've tested it here on our system. They are valid. So we have called the ministry, and they're asking persons who have any such problem.
Mr. Tavares, and not hearing her at all.
Well, there's something wrong with your system, Mr. Newman, because we're hearing you.
I am hearing too.
We have other.
So, Mr. Newman, are you still there?
Let me
explain. Mr. Tavares, just give me just give me time to
Go ahead,
give a
ma'am.
response to Mr. Newman.
Go ahead.
Because the ministry is asking, the Ministry of Finance is asking persons who are experiencing problems with their TRN to call them on their toll-free number at 888-493-2273 so that they can sort the problem out.
Okay. Mr. Cullum, thank you very much. Mr. Barton, you have something to ask her?
Yeah, just one question. I wasn't quite clear on what is an outstanding ticket. If you get a ticket yesterday, will it be outstanding today?
I don't think so, Mr. Barton. It wouldn't, because you would have time in which to go and pay that ticket.
Yeah, yeah.
And that ticket would not show up on your because Mr. Lewis, isn't it my understanding that now when you go to the tax office to license your car, if you have outstanding ticket, you can't license it without paying?
Yes, I was made to understand that.
Right, that is my understanding. So guess what? The persons who have outstanding tickets, they would not have been able to license their cars. So if the motor vehicles are not licensed, they would not be able to get their road license from the authority either.
Yeah. I mean, I'm trying to find out, is there a definition in terms of time for outstanding tickets? Is it a ticket that is more than 1 month, 2 months, 3 months? Professor Lewis.
Outstanding
Mr. Lewis
tickets.
probably
Yes.
can help you with
Outstanding tickets are tickets that are issued, you refuse to pay, and the court date pass. Outstanding tickets are tickets that was issued, the date where you're supposed to pay before the court pass, before the tax office pass, and then you did not go to court and the court date pass. So then warrant is issued, then it becomes outstanding.
Okay, good.
All right.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you very much, Mr.
Any other question?
Well, not now.
Not
Okay.
now, Ms. Callum.
Okay, Ms. Callum.
So I know that your people are very happy, Mr. Newman and Mr. Barton. I know, because you've been waiting on this.
I am still waiting for the Hackney carriage operators to get their share, their fair share.
Yes, and as I say, the MD says the authority will lobby the government. So we'll see what comes of that.
Okay.
I hope we'll be included in the lobbying effort.
Yes.
Yes, sir, you would be. All the other groupings.
Great.
Miss Cullum, thank you very much for coming on.
You're welcome. You're welcome, Mr. Tavares. Thanks for having me.
Thank you. You're welcome.
All right, thanks.
With me this morning, I have Louis Barton, president of JAT, Edgerton Newman, president of TODSS, former SSP Radcliffe Lewis, businessman Steve Hessing. We are faced with a problem in our country where Spanish Town is locked down. And I want to find out from both Mr. Barton and Mr. Newman, how is it that the taxi drivers are, how are they managing over there now? Because with the whole security forces over there, how they locking, I mean, how are they coping? And when you finish speaking, I want to ask Mr. Lewis, what can the JCF and along with the powers may be do towards the extortionists in Spanish Town? It's all over the bloody country, but I'm speaking about Spanish Town. Mr. Barton, go ahead.
Well, Jeff, I'm not dodging the question, but Steve Hessing is the man on the road in Spanish Town. I have not been over there since the current crisis. I would like to hear from him because I'm just hearing second-hand information. So as a person on the ground, probably Mr. Hessing can update me as far as that is concerned.
And I am just coming from over there.
Okay.
Hold on for me, Mr. Lewis. Mr. Hessing, unmute your mic. What is going on in Spanish Town? How is the bus drivers and taxi drivers coping with this lockdown?
You know, what I see is just a normal thing going on in Spanish Town, seeing you. Just a normal thing. I don't know if Mr. Lewis, changes But what I see is just a normal up and down.
What do you mean by normal?
The taxi man and the bus man, them just working same way.
Yes, no changes.
Mm.
Although a state of emergency
I
is there.
want to, Mr. Chairman, Mr. Tavares.
Go ahead, Mr. Newman.
Concur. I want to concur with Mr. Hessing, and I should have greeted Mr. Hessing, Mr. Barton, and Mr. Lewis before, but I have a problem in hearing your side of the discussion. Let me concur with the gentleman that it's a normal day in Spanish Town right now. It seems as if the officers of the law is taking life quite reasonably easy, and for operators, it's a little good for them, a bit of good in it for them, because I'm not too sure any extortion is taking place as we speak. And so it will be, especially for the busmen and those who travel between Spanish Town and Linstead. The words I'm getting from my contacts is that they're smiling, but must understand is a bit of hiccup in terms of when they're stopped by the gatekeepers. It takes up some time of their travel. So that is the only challenge you're having. But apart from that, it's really a normal day in St. Catherine. And I'll be a bit happy for that, because it's, if they're running the same trips, it's more money in their pocket. That's all I can say from my vantage point just now.
Okay. Mr. Lewis, SSP
Yes,
Radcliffe Lewis.
Yeah.
This question I want to ask you, sir. You have been in Spanish Town when you were in the police force. What can be done about the extortion that is going on in Spanish Town?
Well, listen me now. Not much can be done.
I can hardly hear you, sir. Can you remove the mask for me?
Oh. Not much can be done as it relates to the extortion in Spanish Town. As the persons who are being extorted, they will have to go to court and to give evidence. And as you know, it is difficult for them, because once they decide to give quotes, their lives can be in danger. So that is the problem. So the extortion will continue, because remember, those men drive fear into the persons or the drivers, and the extortion is still being done. I heard Mr. Newman say the extortion probably is out, but what happened now is that they move from their location and collecting the money elsewhere. And if you are missing for a week or 2 weeks, when they see you again, you will have to pay for that 2 weeks, although you were not there. That is how vicious it is. And the police cannot do nothing. Because
why the police cannot do anything?
The persons will have to come forward. And
hold on for me, Mr. Lewis. Hold on for me, sir. Then if a person come forward, what guarantee do they have for security of themselves and their family if they come forward and speak about it?
You mean guarantee from the police side?
Yes. You're a former SSP, you should know.
The thousands and thousands of taxi drivers that you have. And if each of them come forward, police cannot provide security for everybody. It is totally impossible. Totally impossible. And something that is unrealistic.
No, Mr. Lewis. The question I ask you, sir.
Yes.
If someone come forward,
yes,
in this dying time and age in Jamaica,
yes,
and say to you, or say to the command, that I am being extorted by Tom Jones.
Yes.
What guarantee does a Tom Jones have that the security force can protect him? And I'm not talking about the 100 security and the 100 taxi drivers.
Yeah. No, well, you're talking about a single person.
Yes.
Well, listen, I don't know what protection can be given to that person. To find personal protection for that person, for the extortionist, or the person being extorted, it is going to be difficult. That is a very hard question.
Yeah.
And I don't see where it can materialize.
Louis,
Yeah, Jeffrey, I want to put a kind of a different spin on it because you're probably identifying Spanish Town, right? But I'm saying that criminality is a Jamaican problem, right? Extortion is all over Jamaica. It cannot be solved. I agree with Mr. Lewis. It cannot be solved in Spanish Town alone. It cannot be solved by an individual. There must be a national policy, a national execution of extortionists. How do we deal with it nationally? Let me show you something. I am from a little backward country place way up in the hills of Westmoreland, on the Westmoreland St. Elizabeth border, right? Now, I didn't even expect a bad ants that bite you to go up there. But some time ago, within the last 5 years, there was when they had an operation in Montego Bay in the St. James area, you find the extortionists and the bad men and the gunmen and all those criminals find themselves into that backward country area, right? So I'm saying that if you're going to deal with extortion in Montego Bay, it have to be a simultaneous effect, simultaneous action in Kingston, in Clarendon, in Maypen, all over. And that you have to have a plan for that, because we always hear that the police force is not enough to take on the amount of crime that exists. But if you have a national policy and try to get everybody involved, including the associations, the different transport association, we represent at least 60,000 transport operators. And they say in unity there is strength. So if we mobilize all of that strength, including citizens association and the different commercial representative, I mean, it cannot be a one thing in Spanish Town or a one thing in Kingston or Montego Bay. It have to be a national effort to deal with this.
Before you answer, Mr. Newman, before you answer, I want to let you answer, but I have a little bit of breaking news that is coming in.
From the courts?
The police have named a person of interest in this morning brutal murder of a mother and 4 children in Clarendon. He is Ralston Bennett. He's said to be the cousin of the deceased. Bennett is of a Wilson Road address in Clarendon and a Papine St. Andrew. Wow. He brutally murdered a woman and her 4 children this morning. This is what we're facing in this country. Mr. Newman, go ahead, sir.
So sudden.
I'm telling you.
4 children. Are we in Ukraine? I'm not too sure. We are in Ukraine. Why is this happening to us? But because sometimes these things make me just frazzle out. But back to, let me just concur with Louis and former SSP Lewis. Now, you have to have a solution, Jeffrey, if you're hearing me.
I'm hearing you loud and clear.
Yeah, like the rain comes down on every corner of Jamaica at the same time. That's the only solution to the extortion problem.
We're having some internet issues with Edgerton Newman. Mr. Newman, we're having some internet issue with you, sir. Steve Hessing, go ahead, because I'm having some internet issue with Mr. Newman.
All right, morning again. Jeff.
Go ahead.
I would never agree with Mr. Lewis 100%, but I will agree with him.
We can be losing over $30 million per month from extortionists, the business sector and the inclusive of the transport sector. And nothing can be done about it. Persons are killed on an ongoing basis because they talk and because they don't want to give the extortion. Right? And so
hold on, Mr. Newman. So you're telling me that we're living in a state that is overrun by extortionists and criminals?
Absolutely.
Yes. Hold on, Mr. Newman. Hold on. the hierarchy of the JCF, the hierarchy of the Jamaica Defense Force, the Minister of National Insecurity and Injustice, the Prime Minister, they can't do a damn thing what is going on in this country?
Well,
This is what Radcliffe Lewis is saying to us?
No. Well, let me jump in here. Not totally saying that on the part of the witness, but listen to me. There are plans, there are laws to deal with this situation, you know, under the Money Laundering Act, whereby the police can see you, Mr. Tavares, suspect and knows that you're a scammer. You live in a pretty house, you buy a pretty house, you live in a posh SUV, you drive a posh SUV car. The police now has the authority to take away that car, hold on on that car, hold on your house, and tell you that you must bring evidence to prove how you get money to buy this car, but the police won't do it. That is one of the problems.
Yeah.
Steve, go ahead.
All right, Jeff, you see, everybody hiding around a thing about the extortionists, and we must be honest. You see, crime.
Hold on for me, Steve. Hold on for me, Steve. Hold on for me. I have to take a quick commercial break here on Make We Talk. It is 11:30, 12:30 in New York City. We're very listening and watching from around the world and the Eastern Caribbean. This is Roseanne 6.1 FM, the voice of the inner city. We're talking to Louis Barton, former SSP Radcliffe Lewis, president of the Transport Sustainable Services, Edgerton Newman, Steve Hessing. We'll be right back here and Make We Talk.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up and live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be self-evident, that all men are created equal. I have a dream that one day on the red hills of Georgia, the sons of former slaves and the sons of former slave owners will they be able to sit down together at the table of brotherhood. I have a dream that one day, even the state of Mississippi, a state sweltering with the heat of injustice, sweltering with the heat of oppression, will be transformed into an oasis of freedom and justice. I have a dream. My four little children will one day live in a nation where they will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. I have a dream today.
Hi, I'm Sharon.
Hi, I'm Marcia.
I'm Adrian. Join us this and every Wednesday morning for Extraordinary Abilities on Roots 96.1 FM. Join us for news, views, and interviews with extraordinary people. Extraordinary Abilities every Wednesday morning, 9 a.m. to 10 a.m. on your extraordinary radio station, Roots 96.1 FM. It's going to be fun, informative, and educational, but most of all, it will be extraordinary.
At MOJ, Ministry of Justice, come access quality service to keep order within the nation. We put together good legislation, legal aid to your pocket. A little is child diversion for you who need expertise. Victim service will help you cope with grief. Restorative justice, build back the peace. No matter where you come from, how we say justice for all Jamaicans. MOJ, Ministry of Justice, come access quality service.
MOJ, taking justice to the people of Jamaica.
I have a dream that one day this nation will rise up, live out the true meaning of its creed. We hold these truths to be.
Welcome back to Make We Talk here on Roots 6.1 FM. Mr. Hessing, you were saying something before we take the break, sir. Go ahead.
Yeah, I was saying that Mr. Lewis teach me one word. Footing around. Hello?
Go ahead.
Yeah, SSP teach me that word, so it's not a bad word. Let me tell you something, Jeff. If crime can cut down, not 100%, but even 60–70%. I record a few years ago in Spanish Town, there was a police come there named, we call him After Dark, but me have him name After Dark. So I don't know if Mr. Lewis can tell me him correct name. And that police come in Spanish Town and the extortion is a cut down, cut in Spanish Town. And because that man start cut out the extortion is out of Spanish Town, run a market, some road what I never know that was road in the market. The man used tractor, drive through some house or build up on a government road in the market. Him dig them out and everything. And the market was so good you can drive through all the market. And the powers may be in Spanish Town, the same people them in Spanish Town, the same people in authority, remove that police from Spanish Town. I don't know if Mr. Radcliffe can give a man correct name or what, but me can tell you, the same authorities then remove that man out of Spanish Town. You understand? And that man come and put Spanish Town into a place where up and running extortion is all of those people have to run out of town. As that man move, everybody come back. So I don't understand. Because crime fails.
You know, Mr. Newman. Question for you, Mr. Newman. Unmute your mic for me. Because there is something that I don't understand.
Yeah.
We had the mayor for Spanish Town on a Zoom meeting pertaining to where the taxi drivers are parking at a gas station in Spanish Town. What I want to find out, Mr. Newman, you are the president and you, Mr. Barton, the president of JAT, the president of TODSS. What can you do to lobby the council or the authorities may be in Spanish Town about the park that is in a deplorable condition? That's why the taxi drivers don't want to go in there.
Before Mr. Barton comes in, let me just make a point here that we have met with the mayor of Spanish Town, to which I know you are aware. We want to continue a process because Mr. Barton will agree with me that is maybe 10 years now we have been talking about the situation in Spanish Town, more than 10 years, and we have not reached anywhere. But we want to continue that process of lobbying. And so there's a meeting set, the date has not been confirmed yet, and I would like all of us who are here, including Steve, who's our man on the ground, to attend that meeting and to see if we can start a new process. But that gas station taxi park and bus park need to stop, and it can be stopped by the mayor of Spanish Town any moment now. In terms of major parks, we need to talk to the owners of those parks because from my vantage point, and I'm saying it publicly, I don't think the mayor of Spanish Town have anything to do with those parks. They're well controlled. And we need to find out who control those parks, seriously, who's getting the money from those parks, and where does the parish council stand. I will get that information, Jeffrey, from the next stakeholders meeting that we should be having Newman. That's all I can say right now with regard to Spanish Town. Yes.
Mr. Newman, what me not understand is this. I am the mayor for Spanish Town.
Yes.
And all I can do is turn on blue light with the taxi drivers to go in the park. I cannot tell the people of Spanish Town, the people of Jamaica, who is operating the parks in Spanish Town. Is it not nonsense, Mr. Newman?
But Jeffrey, that is exactly one of my solutions. That's a problem. So Newman saying something?
I can't. I'm not getting Mr. Newman. Go ahead, because Mr. Newman, I'm having some internet
What am I
issues. Go ahead, sir.
There is, yes, go ahead, Louis.
Yeah, what Jeffrey just put forward a while ago, and what the mayor can do or what he cannot do is the problem that I have. I'm saying that it cannot be a regional or a local plan. It has to be a sustained effort. Steve just said that policeman who made a difference in Spanish Town, and I remember him in Spanish Town, and I remember him at other places. He made a difference, but as soon as he left, things went back to the way it was. It has to be a plan that have to be a sustained effort to deal with this thing. And transport operators in particular are having some serious problem, because in addition to the gas that is going up, which is more than 50% of their daily cost, of their annual cost, the extortion is taking the other 25%. So they end up getting 25% of income to cover all of their costs. It is not easy. It is that will drive some of them into crazy, and not to mention the illegal operators. We're having problems, but it cannot be a Spanish Town problem or a Montgomery problem or a Mayfield problem. It has to be
Could I say one other thing? Could I say one other thing? I want to respond to Steve.
Hold on there. Go ahead, Mr. Newman.
Let me just respond to Steve, my brethren from Spanish Town. Listen, Steve, pressure must high. Not often it bursts at the same place. When you put on the pressure in Spanish Town, where does the pipe burst? In Kingston, Linstead, Maypen. So the one man who I know very well, half a dog, put on the pressure in Spanish Town, but guess where the pipe burst? In Kingston, right down from Kingston, in Linstead, and in Maypen, and it goes on right across the island. So
hold on for me, Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman, hold on a minute. I'm getting a feedback from Roots FM. Owen, is there something going on with the feed? Because I'm getting a severe feedback here that I can hardly hear what they're saying. I used to hear earlier and it's just gone. Mr. Newman, go ahead again. And then I can go to SSP Radcliffe Lewis. Mr. Newman? Okay.
Been moving around the area everywhere. They put it everywhere, they put it in and move them and get them put it somewhere else. But if you could have some person like half a dog in about 7 or 8 different areas surrounding St. Catherine, we might address the problem in that space. But for now, let me tell you, I spoke to the mayor of Falmouth, and he might come on tomorrow night. I spoke to the mayor of Falmouth, who might have a seminar with on Thursday. And he's have the same problem in Falmouth. The same problem is in Montego Bay. But the root of the extortion problem lies within Spanish Town. The reason for that, there is no official parking facilities for the public transport sector. We are putting some dump heap all over the place because scatter points, and in one place is a burial ground. We need to put in Spanish Town a state-of-the-art public transport facility that will reduce extortion by a grave amount.
Hold on there now.
Can't wipe it out.
Yes, we don't have enough in the interest of time.
You have a telephone call?
Go ahead.
You have a phone call?
Go ahead. Hello, welcome to Make We Talk. Go ahead.
Hello, good day.
Yes, go ahead.
Yes, Jeffrey, good morning to you and your guest, Mr. Newman.
Speak up for me, sir.
Yes, good day. I don't know if you hear me.
Go ahead now, I hear you now. Go ahead.
Oh, you hear me now?
Yes, man, loud and clear. Go ahead.
All right. What I'd like to contribute to what is crime, the time they talk about crime. Because I feel we can take, there's two methods. A long-term method where we can take on and a short term. You see, now the short term, me feels it's not a solve crime in Jamaica. The politicians, all the politicians, both parties, councillors, MP and the government, them have to lead it and them have to tell the police where they know. Yeah, they know a lot. They make sense to tell the citizens to lead it when them still on a benefit from the crime. Yeah. So them have to lead and tell police for them because them know more than the average. And it's about anytime we stop the hypocrisy, they can move forward. And then long-term plan, the government needs to spend a lot of money on education. Yeah. I think a lot of people can afford education. So if the country really wants to solve it on a long-term basis, invest a whole heap of money for education. Make sure the youth them know. The youth them are just born between 1 to 12, so them get a solid education. Go straight up to IT, at least. Go straight up to
Yes.
education.
Yes. Caller, it's not that I'm cutting you off, but in the interest of time, because I don't have enough time. Leave.
No, well,
Thank you for calling.
I basically finished it.
Thank you for calling.
Yes, good morning.
Pardon me?
I'm on your program too. So you guys.
Okay.
Okay.
Yes.
But Jeffrey,
Thank you very much.
I just want to fully endorse what the caller was talking about. He was emphasizing education, and that is part of my idea of planning. Planning is not just to find where this criminal live yesterday or where he tomorrow. It's a long week. I am 70 years old, and I know that crime has been increasing.
But Mr. Barton, hold on a minute.
Years.
Mr. Barton, let me say something to you. You see, all of we beating around the bush, you know.
Yeah.
If you have politicians in Spanish Town, the Minister of Culture and Gender, Olivia Babsy Grange, along with Andrew Wheatley, Christopher Tufton, and the lady from the People's National Party are distancing themselves from these gangs that the both Labour Party and the People's National Party helped to create. And we're drifting from what is going on until they can admit the fact that they are the one who's creating the fundamental problem in this country with these gangs. They need to distance themselves. They need to come out publicly and say that I am not a part of any gang in this country. I'm not a part of any one-order, nor Ganada, nor Canada. The crime problem will not stop in our country if these politicians don't come together and stop this thing.
Yeah. But in addition to that, Jeffrey, well, put it this way, I don't expect them to do that.
Then how is it going to stop, Mr. Barton?
I don't expect them to do it because our system dictates that these politicians use some of these gangs to help them win election. If they don't have the gangs, they won't win an election. That is what's happening in Jamaica. That is what our system dictates. But we as people, Jeffrey, we as people, you, me, Steve, Newman, Radcliffe Lewis, should come together as citizens of Jamaica who want to move this country forward. Anybody who wants to stop that effort, including the politician, will be moved out of the way. Because we need a Jamaica that we have to live in. We have to set the tone. I don't want those politicians to say, okay, now I confess. To hell with their confession. I don't need them to confess. I need we to get together and move it forward.
Radcliffe?
Now, let me tell you, I don't see where politicians now are hugging up gang members. It is fortunate that some of the constituency have gangs there still. But the $2 billion that is coming in, US dollar that is coming in, like last year, many of those monies are going to the gangs. Gangs don't depend on politicians anymore. If anything now is the politicians, them depend on the gang members, them. They are weaned. The gangs are weaned from the politicians. So I would not say no, that politicians are involved with gang members. Gang members no politician again, man. If anything is politician running to them and I beg them to do certain things.
Mr. Lewis.
That is the problem now.
Mr. Lewis.
So me not go subscribe to that policy. Yes, sir.
I did not say that they're running into them, you know. They created the mayhem.
Yes, well,
They
I agree with
helped to
that.
create the gangmanism in this country. Hold on, Radcliffe. They helped to create the gangmanism in this country. They create the worm in this country. They create the anarchy in this country. And when they're done, they're going to distance themselves from what they have helped to create it in this country.
Well,
The gangs, it reach a point where they can't speak to the gangs anymore because the gangs are making more money than them.
Mr. Tavares, may I make a point though?
Go ahead, sir.
Sometimes now, the people of this country has agreed that the politicians need to walk away. And to be frank, we need to walk away from the gang.
We're having problems, Mr. Newman, you know. Every time you go out and come in.
Yeah.
AJ? You know, when you have a Minister of National Security telling the people that he doesn't know about an extortion in Spanish Town, you're telling me
that forces have the powers, the tools to deal with the criminalities. See, people start to say, and I heard you said something yesterday about what is happening on King Street downtown.
You're going in and out, Mr. Newman. Mr. Newman, you're going in and out. I can hardly hear you. Anyway, we don't have enough time on this platform here on this program. We have enough of a program for ourselves. And I've been asking Louis and Newman to sponsor the program. I don't know how to sponsor it. We can have a little longer for that.
No, and I agree with you. We need something like this. We need a forum to hear our views on a regular basis. And,
yes.
and you know, Jeffrey, I am in this thing where I'm saying we need a plan, right? We definitely need a plan. But we need all of us to come together, including you, who is not a part of the transport sector, so that you can have an input and we can have a output to you, a two-way street, because we need your service. We need to expose ourselves and our problems, and you can do that. But
yes,
all of that have to be done in a kind of, I say as a national plan, right? And probably you can even take it international, because Lagos, Nigeria having the same problem like us with transport operators. So it's something that we have to look into seriously, and don't just try to get a little fix here and a little fix there.
Right. We don't have enough time.
I just want to say something for a minute. You have 8 minutes sleep. But you spoke about the place where taxi drivers can pick up passengers. See? But let me tell you something. A big place on a White Church Street, just in front of the prisons, with facilities were constructed by the parish council, and the drivers taxi went inside there, and a couple of days they come back out, and you know what they say? Nobody not coming inside here. And they abandoned the taxis in Spanish Town, abandoned that beautiful place, White Church Street. That is what I know. Mr. Barton know it too.
I agree with you. I agree with you. Yes, I agree.
Mr. Lewis, I'm familiar with that place.
Mr. Barton, give me 1 minute, because I need to wrap up.
Yeah. Let me just throw something on this, because one of the problems is that place, the system that operates there, have the operators going, when they come out to the main road, they have to turn right to go into the town, which the town is a chaos. It costs you at least an extra 5 to 10 minutes to go there. So the operators refuse to go in there. And then there is another thing called illegal operators. The illegal operators who compete with those operators who is going to the country and use that bus park. They're done by the traditional place that you would get a transport, which is done by the gas station at the hospital gate. So there's that is I come back to my thing. We need to talk and need to plan it. I agree, Mr. Lewis, that there's a problem there.
We don't have enough time. Gentlemen, we don't have enough time. We don't have enough time. Steve, your final 1 minute, please. Steve, unmute your mic, your final 1 minute.
Yeah, I'm saying that the extortionist can cut is not one police get paid. Every government pay all the police. So see like how half a dog come and do an impact in Spanish Town. I know others police can come and do the same thing. But as I say, it's corruption, and because of corruption, nothing done.
Corruption.
Nothing done.
Okay.
Am I still
Edgerton Newman, 1 minute.
Last word by Steve, corruption. But it can be addressed, and let's get things going. I like this program. You need to have a couple more of these programs and get other persons like the Chamber of Commerce man in Spanish Town and other persons and get it going. But we're going to be having a face-to-face meeting shortly. I'm just afraid of Spanish Town right now, believe me. But we're going to get that meeting going shortly. Let's take it the next step further. We have to address the problem in Spanish Town. Thank you very much.
Louis?
A smart policeman had said some time ago that we're going to have, it will be a bad day in Jamaica if we don't deal with this thing. And he wasn't talking about a local thing. He was thinking about a national plan to deal with crime.
Yes. Radcliffe, 1 minute, please.
Yes,
Louis.
Mr. Newman, make sure say you have a lot of companies that can sponsor this show. Give Steve a sponsor, man. He's right.
Not
Give him
Steve,
a sponsor.
Jeffrey.
With your help, my brother,
Jeffrey.
Louis, we're going to sponsor next week's show. I'm coming to Cherry.
I don't finish. My minute not gone. We're not talking about next week alone. A sponsor that is continuous, maybe for 3 months.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, next week is a start.
Thank you.
Very good.
We're speaking to Louis Barton, president of JAT. Edgerton Newman, president of TODSS. You're on air, Mr. Newman. President of TODSS. Former SSP Radcliffe Lewis, businessman Steve Hessing. Thank you very much for coming on. We're going to have a program one of these Saturday or Friday evenings pertaining to this, as we can get the president of the Chamber of Commerce. Maybe we can get our good friend Mayor Norman Scott to come on. I know he don't like me one bit, but anyway. Thank you all for coming on.
Okay, Steve.
You're just under pressure.
Yes, thank you very much. This is Jeffrey Tavares saying thank you very much for coming on here. We are having a problem at the Jamaica, the Labor and Social Security. I got a call yesterday from a lady, an elderly lady, who, I can't believe this. She spent over $600 to collect a chip and halfpenny. They tell her to go to Paymaster and then come back down to the Paymaster said to her she must go back down to the labor office for the control number. Then they tell her to go back up to Paymaster. They have her to and fro. She called my phone and said, Mr. Tavares, I'm tired. It can't be, it cannot be that in 21st century Jamaica, the Ministry of Labor and Social Security have these poor people, these elderly people, walking to and fro and taking bus to and fro just to get a control number. Minister Carl Samuda, I'm not going to stop until you do something about it. Minister Carl Samuda, it is full time that you all do something about these part program people. Something needs to be done. Send the tracking number to their phone. It can't be they have them up and down. They look at money they're collecting. By the time they collect the money done, they don't have anything to leave. A loaf of bread right now is $1,000. Good God Almighty, man, do something about these people. And the people who are in the part office must know to speak to people. And I have no respect for the elderly people of this country. And I'm saying this to the Minister of National Security and Justice. If you cannot do your job, Minister, resign. I am calling on you to resign. Yes, Radcliffe won't be here. Me say to him, he must resign. Him and the Commissioner of Police, because what they're doing in this country is stupidness. You can't tell me you know about extortion. And Mayor Norman Scott is afraid to go to anybody. Mayor Scott had an interview on a radio station and the man is so afraid to talk. Enough is enough. We cannot continue like this as a nation. I'm not talking about 2030 vision. To live and work where? Full time we do something about what is going on in this country. Too much mayhem. Prime Minister Andrew Holness, you're overseas now, campaigning for the Baroness of the Commonwealth. But when you come back to Jamaica, call a national day of prayer and fasting for this country. Call a national day of prayer and fasting for this country. We have too much churches per square miles. The Jamaica umbrella group of churches is a bunch of hypocrites when they can't call it too. We can't continue like this in this country. Anyway, this is where I say so long from here. It is 12 midday in Kingston City, Jamaica. 1 midday in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. Or 1 o'clock in Fort Lauderdale, Florida. I am Jeffrey Tavares saying thank you all for listening. Until you hear my voice again, may God bless you. And for God's sake, I want to stop the crime and violence. And may God bless Jamaica land we love. Louis, thank you all very much.
Hi,